My name's Hannah.
And my name's Chasity.
Welcome back to Bookish Babes. Today we're going to be talking about books that we read that were out of our comfort zone, but we loved. And I think this is such a cool idea because it's sort of like the book that we read from this genre or whatever that like got us into this genre. And so we each actually have 3 books to talk about today, and we tried to give like a wide array of different genres that we in the past didn't typically read, but we read something from and found out that we really loved it. So let's jump into it.
Yeah.
My first book is The Witcher. I think this is interesting because I ended up reading it after playing the game, and I was not somebody who typically read adult fantasy, but this book made me realize that I do like adult fantasy, and I think it was my first like time trying to read adult fantasy as an adult. And so it made me kind of appreciate and realize that I could appreciate the genre.
Yeah. So I have read adult fantasy before previously. Like obviously I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. But I don't read very much in that genre. So this one, Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, was recommended, highly recommended by a few of my coworkers, and I decided to go ahead and jump into it, and I really loved it. I think as I'm getting older, I'm liking more fantasy, like adult fantasy.
For sure. This is like the first year that I've been into fantasy.
Yeah, I just need, like, I need that extra, like, world building and, like, just
I think it's
details.
because I wasn't into YA fantasy that I kind of just figured I'd never be into adult fantasy, which was not the case.
See, I was into YA fantasy.
Besides, like, Harry Potter. So my second book is The Girl with All the Gifts, which is actually a sci-fi book. I don't read a ton of sci-fi. I haven't read any sci-fi since then, but this was only a couple months ago. And I'm definitely, like, I know, right?
My next one is sci-fi as well.
Oh, we actually timed this really well.
Yeah.
But I have some sci-fi books on my list that I want to read, and it's a genre that I do want to delve into now because I realize that I do like it. This one was like a zombie book done well, and I talked really highly of it. I think it was my January wrap up because I think I read it in January.
I think so.
I loved it, and it made me really realize that that's a genre that I'm somebody who, like, I can read that. And it's not for everybody. I get sci-fi isn't for everybody. And I don't know why I thought I wouldn't like it because it's kind of got all my favorite elements, but I've just never delved into it, and I'm excited that I did.
Yeah, I've never really done that either.
Yeah.
This one was actually my first read of last year. It's titled Queen's Shadow. It's by E.K. Johnson. This one, it's a YA science fiction, but it's a Star Wars book, and I've never read any Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I've just never read any of the books because same thing, I don't know why I didn't think I wouldn't like them. But this one I picked up specifically because Padme is my favorite character, and it's about her, and it's at an interesting time with her character, Queen Amidala, you know, and all that. So I really liked it, and even though it was YA, like it was really good. It was done well. I really appreciated it.
My third and final book that I'm going to talk about right now is Unpregnant. The reason that this was out of my comfort zone was because it's young adult, and I can't remember the last time that I've read a young adult book and enjoyed it. It's just not something that's for me anymore. And I totally don't think, like, I think adults can read young adult. I personally just don't enjoy it anymore, but I really enjoyed this book, and it was very out of my comfort zone, but it made me kind of realize that maybe I should start looking in that section more often because I can find some gems there. Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. The last one I'm going to talk about is Educated by Tara Westover. This is actually a memoir. Since reading this one, I've read a few more, I think. This was really interesting about a woman who like grew up living off the land. Like her dad and her parents were very against like any kind of
government intervention,
any kind of technology. She never went to school. You know, it was very interesting to see how somebody lived like that in the first place and where she is now, because she's like a college graduate and like she's doing fantastic. But it was very interesting, and it made me kind of want to step out of my comfort zone with that and read some more like biographies or memoirs, and I have so far. Not a lot, but I have.
Yeah.
So these were some of the books that we just kind of stepped outside of our own comfort zone and ended up really liking. And now that's one of the things that's been a goal for us this year, is kind of stepping out and reading some more things that we can bring to you guys.
Not just reading our like comfort genres.
Yeah, the same ones.
Which are like romance and thrillers for both of us.
Both of us. Yeah. So definitely comment down below. Let us know anything that you've like stepped outside of your comfort zone, if you've loved it, if you didn't like it. Give us some recommendations. We are constantly looking for recommendations.
Yes.
Not that we necessarily need them. We both already have
Huge
too
list
big
of books.
Too big of piles, but we definitely would love some recommendations. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because you know we bring you all your bookish junk. That's pretty much
all we do.
Our bookish babbles.
Yeah.
And make sure you hit that little bell so that you know when we post. And we see you next time.
Bye.